Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm going to be teaching you how to create this beautiful website. See, it's a website about cars. So it has a beautiful purple hovers. It has the brand section. Then it has this section with this button here with purple, and then also another one here. Then it has this section, card section, and then we have review price, and then I have a simple footer section here. So we're going to be uh, walking through this. I'm going to be teaching you step by step on how to create every segment of this website. Hello and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be building a website. It's going to be our project, and then we're going to see how we implement the different elements of HTML and also how we get to style them. So quickly, what do we need to create a website? Simple. We need web browsers, and also we need a text editor. So if you have a Google Chrome web browser, that would be fine. And if you have a Sublime text editor, which is called integrated development environment, okay, there are several out there. So if I come to Google here and then I want to ask, there are some text editors that are called VS Code. Okay, it's a very popular one. This is the logo right here. If you want this, you could download this. We have others. Bracket. Oh, Sarah. There's one called Bracket Code Editor. This is how it is. So there's actually several types. There's another one called Notepad Plus Plus. All these are text editors. They help you to write different code. So, but the one we are going to be using is the one that I'm used to, which is the Sublime Text. So simple. You want to download the Sublime Text, just come to Google, type it here, and then you can see download here. And then you open that link. And then so we have the different versions. We have some for OS X. We have a window. So if you have a window, you could just click on this and see it is downloading into your system. Okay. So the installation is pretty simple. Okay, so it's done. So when it's done, you go to your downloads, and then this is it right here. When you click on it, it installs. I have it already, so I won't be installing it. All right, so this is my text editor here, and then you must have a browser, and then you are good to go. So HTML is actually the code that defines the structure of every website. Okay, so every website has a structure. You have to first define the structure before you can start styling it. Okay, it's like a building. You have to first build a house before you can start putting the fittings and painting and all that. Okay, so it defines the structure. Okay, like the skeletons of our body defines the structure of our human body. Okay, but the flesh and the clothing and the styling, the clothing now add styles to that body. So now let's imagine you have your text editor opened here. The next thing you need to have are folders. So you create a folder, new folder, and then you can name it whatever you want. You can just say my web page. Now this folder is a root folder. It's called a root folder because every other the framework of your website is going to be built on this particular website, because website is simply documents on the internet. Okay, websites are a combination of pages that are in folders, and folders inside other folders, and folders inside other folders. Okay, depending on the size of your website, it will define the size or the number of folders you have inside each particular folder. So simply put, websites are built in folders. So you get your folder, and this is the root folder, because this is where everything springs from. Okay, your pages are built inside. So if you have this folder, if I open it now, it is blank. Okay, it is pretty blank. Now the next thing we need are pictures. You must have pictures, because websites are known for pictures. You can't display just text. Well, in the early days of HTML, it was actually designed to display text. Okay, but as time went on, people began to develop other means to make it more dynamic, to make it look more beautiful. Nobody, or should I say, every people hardly read texts. Okay, but if you have a picture there, more people will come and look at it. So you ensure that you have pictures, and then you have to define what your website is about. You cannot just go and start. You just wake up from the blues and want to create a website, because defining what your website would be about determines the kind of photographs or pictures that are going to be on that website. So you have to define your goals, define what you want the website to be about. So for me, this project, we're going to be creating a website that is about cars, like a car dealer. Okay, and so I'm going to be having pictures about cars and the brands of cars and all that. That is this folder here. So I'm going to close this now. So we have our pictures in a folder, and we have our root folder. Now we're going to carry these images into the root folder. So when I open, you see I have my folder here, and the name of this folder is called IMG. That's very important, because in web development, you always reference resources. And if you don't reference them correctly, you will not, uh, the resource you want won't be displayed on your web page. So that is very important to understand. That is very important to know. So having done this, we have our root folder here. So we go to our text editor, which is open already. Now we drag our text editor into, sorry, we drag our folder into our text editor. And if we're here, we are ready to code. All right, so now this is our folder that has a subfolder inside that has all these pictures. So you can see they've been named accordingly for easy referencing. Just to let you know that there are some certain extensions that are not allowed, or let's say the ones that are allowed um, in web creation, or the most popular ones used are the JPEG or PNG. Okay, some other files might not be displayed on your website, so just stick with JPEG, JPG, or PNG files. Okay, these are extensions that are globally accepted when it comes to displaying of thumbnails and pictures on your website. So please stick to these extensions. So we can see .jpg, .png, you can see .jpeg, and so on and so forth. So all right, now we have to write our first page, and every first page in web design is called an index page, because it is on that page that we now begin to build every other page we want. Okay, it's also called a landing page. Okay, it's called a home page, or whatever you want to call it, but the first page you ever create in your web design, or web development, is the index.html, and you see it has the extension like this, index.html. This is the index. So let's go ahead and create that. So how do I create that? You come here, put your cursor in this folder here, the root folder, you right click, it says new file, right? You click on it, and then you can save as here, or you could just do Control S on your Windows computer. Now here we're going to say index.html. Sorry. So these things are to be spelled correctly, and it is case sensitive. So ensure that you're using small letters here, okay, lower cases here. So index.html is our first page. Okay, so we save that, and you see it has appeared here. So it is now assuming that this page is an HTML page that is ready to be developed. So the first thing we do is we bring up the boilerplate. So you do the angle brackets and say HTML. You hit it. So you see, it gives you a lot of resource, right? It gives you a lot of resource, and this is why I prefer Sublime Text, because most of these other text editors out there, you have to type all these things manually into this page. But Sublime Text is built such a way that it can give you prompts. Okay, you don't need to type a whole line of code entirely. It will just give you what you're trying to get. Okay, I hope you understand me there. Now we have to save. Control S. Okay, or you just say save. Oh, not that one. Now it is saved, right? Just say Control S. It will save it. Now we have created our first page. So if you want information on these lines here, different lines, please refer to my previous. I have some videos on that. Refer to them. I'm not going to talk about that now. Here we're just going to build a project step by step, and so that you know how these things we have been discussing about works. Okay, so the title, I can put my first web, my first web. So this title here is what appears on our tab. We save. Make sure you save every time you make a correction. Always save. Let me show you what I mean. You see this text here that on this tab is written with the title tag. So if I come to my folder right now, my root folder, I open it, and then you see the index page has now been saved. Now you see it has a browser icon. Once you see it like this, it means that index is running, index.html is running on your system. And why did it take this browser icon? Because this is by default, my computer's browser is Microsoft Edge. So this is it right here. Okay, so it depends on the browser that is your computer's default browser. If it's Chrome, it's going to show Chrome. If it's Firefox, it's going to show Firefox. So that's it. So if you see this, it means HTML is running on your system. So we just click on it to view our website. Okay, so we are there. This is our website actually. So if you see this, my first website, because we wrote it here on the title. So the title tag helps to give your browser the title at the top. Okay, so you could put anything here. You can put anything, you can put your name, whatever you want to do. Okay, so you could say cars and save. And when you come here, you just hit refresh. You see it has changed. So that's for titles. Now, everything we see on our website is written in the body tag here. So if you go to a website, it's Google. Let's say you go to facebook.com. And then wait as it loads. Everything you see on a page is written in the body tag. Oh, this is slow. So all these things you are seeing now, everything that's visible on the website is written in this particular tag, right? So we're going to be building the visible structures of our website here. Okay, so let's get on with it. So when creating a website has different sections. It has the navigation, it has the body, it has a lot of things. Okay, so we're going to be defining the structure of our site. Okay, we're going to be defining, this is my Facebook page. Now this part could be considered to be the header. Okay, if you go to other websites, this is the header. So there's the header, right? And then these are the different segments. This is also a particular segment. It's called a sidebar. These are all created using special HTML elements that we're going to be seeing a few of them today. All right, so the first thing we do is that we create a navigation bar, and there's a tag called the nav bar. The nav, that's it right there. So click on it, and then you open it. Now in the navs, we're going to create a div. Okay, so inside the div, we'll now create we're going to give the nav a class of navbar. Now classes, they are for targeting, for styling. Okay, you target elements to style them, and so classes helps us to target particular elements. Okay, that's just what it does. Now, so we have this parent element that is going to house this inside of it. So this we're going to say nav div. We're going to give it a class of nav div. So we're targeting we're going to target this and also target this. So we give it a class. Now there's I'm going to put up a CSS tutorial so that you see um, all the ways we can target different elements in our website. So, but for now, just do as you see here. When we start talking about it, you're going to understand everything. Okay, so inside this div, we are going to have a div that will hold our logo. Okay, because if you are building a website for a company, you should have logo. So we're going to give this a class of logo. Okay, so every business has a website. All right, and the logo is an image. So we're going to call our image tag img. However, we want our image to be clickable. So we're going to wrap it with an A tag, an anchor tag, this one right here. Okay, so this is our image wrapped. So we need to wrap it in something like this. So this is wrapped in the href. Okay, so it makes this image a link. When you click on it, you go to another page. All right, so let's go on. So if we are now, right now, there is nothing to display. Now we have to put the image name in between these quote signs, right? So if I come to my image here, open it, this is my logo here. See, it's pretty big. Now I need to add the name of this particular image, right? And the name is logo.png. So I put it here in the source, meaning this is going to instruct the browser that there is please display this image called logo.png. All right, so logo.png. If we save like this and come to our browser and refresh, you see it's not showing anything, and that I did deliberately to point out something very important. So if we come back now, why is it not locating this particular image? Because the image is not a standalone. The image is in a folder, so you cannot try to get what is inside a folder without referencing the name of that particular folder, right? So before the logo.png, you put img, which is the name of this folder, /. and save. So what it's going to tell the browser is that go into this folder called img and look for logo.png. So if we save that and go to our browser and refresh, so you see, let me reduce. So you see we have our big logo over here. All right, so let us go on. Now we want to display some links. Every website has links, right? We have profile, home, contact us, those type of things. They are made using what we call lists. Okay. In my previous video, I talked about that extensively. So please watch that previous video. So to make a list, we use the UL tag. It means unordered list. Now inside the unordered list, we're going to have some list items. All right. So here we're going to have home, and we can duplicate this by doing Control Shift D. Okay. We can make this home, profile, about us. Sorry, about us. Contact us. Now these are supposed to be links. Remember, websites are not standalone. All right, they are links that take you to some other page. So these are our links. Every website has links. You know, a link is actually a page that you refer to from the index page or from the home page. So these are actually different pages we're going to be creating in the course of this project. However, they're going to be displayed on the main websites as links. Okay, so we have our home. So I think this is a car website. So I think I should put home, profile. Let me add one more deals. Let's say this is deals, about us, contact us. Okay, I think I should make this contact us, and this should be a blog. So we're going to have a blog. In most websites now do have blogs in their websites. Okay, so these are our links. However, they're not links yet because they are just LI. They're just list items. All right, they are not links yet. So you remember here we made our image a link. How did we do that? We use the anchor tags, right? So we're going to wrap this home in an anchor tag to make it a link, if that makes sense. So right here we're going to say sorry, I'm going to say href okay, like this, and you know it has a closing tag, right? It has a closing tag, so you come over here and close it out. So this is wrapped in this link tag. So this is a link right now. So we have to do same for all, but I can't type all that, so I have to duplicate it. We have 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. So we're going to duplicate it 5 times. 2 3 4 5. So this second one would be profile. Third one would be deals. Fourth one would be contact us. Third would be blog. So we delete these other ones. We don't need them anymore. So right now we have our links, right? And then we have our logo. So the next thing we should do is styling. Now, this is where we begin to get some beauty on our site. So if we go to our website and just refresh, you can see we have these ugly looking things here because they have not been styled. All right, look at this thing, is so big. However, I want to just, let me just add my styling here. I will say width, let's make it 80px. Let's see. So if I refresh here, okay, so it has come to normal size. However, I think it's too small. Let's make it 100. All right, so we have our logo, we have our lists here. All right, so they are lists because we wrap them in an anchor tag, right? Okay, so it is looking ugly because we have not been, or we have not added styles to it. Now I think there are three ways to add styles to elements on HTML. The first, this one I did here is called an inline styling. That means I'm adding styling to the line that I want to see a change. Okay, there's another one called internal. That one, I have to make a tag. I have to make a style tag like this. Add like this. Okay. Now remember, I put this style tag in the head section, right? This is the opening tag of the head. This is close, so it is in the head section. Now, if I remove this, oh, if I remove this, if I cut this out, if I, okay, let me just remove the styling. If I cut this out like this, okay, I come here and I say, so if we look at our website, it has gone back to, oh, I've not saved. So if I save and come back here, it has gone back to its former state. Now, what I'm going to do here is that I want to target this image, right? So it's navdiv image. So I'm going to say, and it's a class. So we say dot when referencing classes, right? Navdiv, not navbar, navdiv space image. Image is not a class, so it's an element. Every time you are referencing an element, you don't put your dot. All right, this I put dot because it's a class. We're going to have a video on that anyway. So now I want to put that same style in here. So I said, what did I say? I said, okay, I said the width is 100. So width 100, sorry, 100. What is wrong? 100px and save. Now if I come here to refresh, it is still doing the same thing. So this type of let's see, okay, this type of styling is called an internal. Okay, when you put styling in the page. However, inline is when you add styling to the particular element, to that line of code. All right, but this, both of these cannot, really, imagine you have a website that has hundreds of pages. It will be difficult to start putting stylings in every page. All right, and hence they developed what is called the external styling. That is where you create uh, a style sheet page and then you link it with just one line of code to every page that you might have. So to do that, I'm going to remove this because I don't want internal. Now I save. Now I come here, right click and create a file. I'll save this as styles.css. It is very important that you take note of these words. It is styles, not style. If you don't get it correctly, it's not going to beautify your page. So we save. So you see, we have a styles.css page. So right now, everything that you style here would affect the index.html, right? Would affect every other page you have. Now, before we start, I want to define the text that should be on my page. So I'll go to Google font, the type of fonts that I should see, Google fonts. So I'll click on this first one. You can define the type of the format or the style of text that should display throughout your website. Okay, so to do that, here's the trick. So when you come here, you see Google has several fonts, all right, but the one I'm looking for is called Poppins. So come here, search for Poppins. So here it is. It says Poppins, right? So I'll click this, and then it will bring different variations of Poppins, different weight, font weight, and font styles. So we're going to start picking them one by one. So I'll add this one. I'll pick this one, 200. I'll pick 300. I'll pick 400. I'll pick 500. I'll pick 600. 700. 800. Okay, I think 900 is the biggest. All right, so if you look at this right bar here, all the ones I've picked are lined up in here. If you come to the bottom, this one, now we need to embed this text on our website. And how do we do that? We use the @import. All right, so you click here. Now these are style sheet codes, right? That import all these variations of Poppins into your website so that you can start using them. Now how do we do that? You copy this one, right? Avoid these styles, avoid it, just copy the content. So let's come over to our website. In our style sheet that is blank, we just do Ctrl V or paste. So right now we're importing these several fonts or shades of text into the website so that we can use any one we want at any time. So right now it is imported. Now the next thing we need to do, we define the entire body of our page. Now to do that, we use the star. That's too close. Let me come down. Now we use the star. This star means the entire body of a website. So whatever instructions you are giving here would affect the entire body of the website. So I'll say padding. Oh, sorry, I have to open my curly braces first. So padding 0, margin. Oh, this is low. Margin. So margin 0, padding 0. So we have defined the padding and margin of the entire page. So the next thing we need to do is, if we come to our index page, this is a container a container tag, because it has this inside, whilst this one has this inside. So I want to style the parent container nav tag, and that is the class. So I'm going to copy the class because I'm going to target it. So I come out, I do dot, paste, and curly braces. Now again, it is dot because it's a class. There's another one called ID. It is targeted differently. So now for the nav bar, I want it to have a background of dark red. Okay, save. Come here and refresh. It has a background of dark red. You can see our big car. So I want to give it more stylings. I'm going to give it a font family. Remember, we imported some fonts here, right? So I want to use this. If we look at our website, it is currently using the default texts, right? The font size, the font family. This is the default. So however, I want to change it. I want to now import this particular one. So I'm going to say font family. I'm going to say Poppins. Okay, I'm going to put a padding right 15 pixel, padding left 15 pixel. So if I save this and then refresh, so you see it has changed the text and it has pushed the contents forward because I said padding left. So there's a padding here and there's a padding here, but there's no element here to push. That's why we're not seeing it. So let's go on. So we have targeted that. So what I want to do again, I want to target this one, the child of this. So I'm going to copy this, come here, target it, dot, paste. And so I'm going to give it a display of flex. What else? I'm going to align items center, and then justify content space between. So save, and I'm going to refresh that. So justify content space between has forced my UL to the right because I actually want the logo to be here and the other thing to be on this other part. So let's go on with our stylings. Now let's come to the logo, the image, right? The logo. Now the logo has a class of logos. So I'm going to copy that to target it. Remember we removed our inline CSS I put here. I took it out. Let's just use our external one. So copy this class, come over here. I'm going to say dot logo and then the image tag in that class target. I'm going to give it first a width. We gave it 100px. So if we save, it would take down this big guy. So this is 100px. So I want it to have a padding top and padding left. So padding, that means space at the top of 10px. Let's make it 15px. And padding left 20px. Out here, so refresh. So padding top, you see it came down because I put padding top and padding left. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is we have our unordered list. We have to edit this. So we're going to say navdiv ul or navbar ul. Okay, the reason we do that, just in case we have some other need to use links so that the stylings are not global. So we can actually add styles as we want it. Okay, so we're going to say dot nav bar space ul. So we want list style none. It is going to take away those bullet points. These bullet points. So when I refresh now, they're gone. Okay, so I want to target the LIs. So nav bar ul li. Please take note of the way I'm targeting it, right? The li is in the ul, that is in the nav bar. So this one I want it to display inline block. Display inline block. It's going to stretch it out. Save, refresh. So it has stretched it out. So the next thing we're going to target the A tags that are in the UL. So I'm going to say dot navbar UL A, oh no, let's say LI anchor tags, and then our curly braces. So first of all, I want to change the color. It's white. Save. I want to remove the underlining. That's text decoration. Text decoration. None. And then I want to space. Okay, let's just check. So color white, text decoration gone. Now I want spaces between, so I can say margin right. So margin, the margin of the list, I want to add margin to it. So I'll give it a margin of 30 px. So margin right, 30 px. And also, I think that is done. Maybe I should also give it a margin left. So there'll be space right and left. 25 px. Save. So our links are spread out. Okay, so I think that's all about the links. The next thing we're going to be doing is creating the header segment. And that is, this is just structuring of the website, the different layouts of the website. All right. Okay, so if we go to our index here, so we're done with our navigation. So we're going to create the next section of our website, which is the header section. So I'm going to bring out a div, open it, and give it a class of header. Okay, give it a class of header. Then inside that div, I'm going to give it another div. I'm going to call this header elements, class of header elements. Okay. Now in here, I'm going to have the name, because if we look at the site, I'm going to have a big image here, and then the name of whoever owns this website. So I'm going to use an h1 tag. So let's say Billy's Auto, something like that. And then I want it to have two buttons at the bottom, so I'll give it button. Sorry, use the tag, the button tag. Okay, so I could say let's see, what should I give? I say C collections. I duplicate this and then say get a deal. So I have two buttons here. So I come in and refresh. Okay, so I have Billy's Auto and then my two buttons. However, I need a picture here. So I'm going to get that using the header. So come here, copy the class, go to CSS and say dot header. Okay, now I'm going to say background image URL. Now I have my images here, so you see they are named. This header JPG, this is header 1, this header 2. So I think I want to use this, the header 1. So I'll come here and put header 1 dot JPG. So please ensure it's correct. However, this is not going to work because I have not referenced the container folder. So I have to put it in front. So I'll say img slash and save. So let's come here and refresh. So we have our image there. Now it's not showing because we have not defined the height. So I would say mean height should be 400 pixel. Save that. Refresh. So this is 400 pixel. Okay, and this is how we put header images on our website. So I want this text here to come to the middle. All right, I want this text to come to the middle. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go over to, okay, I'm here. And so I could give it, okay, let me add more here. Let's say background, background cover. Background size rather. Let me say cover. A background repeat. Now that repeat helps it not to duplicate the header image. Background repeat, no repeat. So now I want to align all the text to the center, so I can say align items. No, it's not going to work. Text align, text align center. Not that one. If I refresh, so we are at the center. Now I want a padding top to push this text down, and we made this using the h1 tags. I come here, these are the h1 tags, right? Or we could target header elements. We could target this div and give it a padding. So I think that's the best thing to do. Let's target this. Copy styles. So come here, do that, this, and give it a padding top. Padding top of 20px. So let's see how that fares. Okay, so it's working. So we could increase it to say 40. Refresh down. However, I want to increase all of this, they're too small. So how do I do that? Still the header elements, I can say okay, let's give it a width 20px. Let's see how that works. That's not it, so I'll take it out. So I can say font size. Okay, so it's working. So font size is going big. So I still want it bigger. Let me put 70px. So Billy's Auto. And then we have our little buttons here. Okay. Then I want my color to, let's change the color a bit. So I'll go color. Let's give it white. Billy's Auto. Okay. So our buttons are supposed to be they're supposed to be links. So I'm going to put link tags in these guys. Put here. So they are now links. So you see, I can now touch them. Now, in order to style the buttons, we're going to give them classes. So class, I'm going to say this BT1 class BT1. I can copy this. So I'm targeting this class inside this element, this parent class. So I'll come here and say dot header elements dot bt1 space. Now I want it to have a height of 20 pixel. Okay, that's pretty small. Let's see, 50 pixel. Okay, a width. So width is usually longer, of 70px. What is happening here? Oh, that is so small. Let's say 1/7. Okay, so it's looking like a button now. So we have this button here, we have this button right here. So what do we do? So okay, let's go back. So I want a border of none. I don't want it to have borders. None. I want color of white. Then I want to give it a background. I want to the button a background of transparent. So it is transparent. So border, let's give it 1px. Red solid. Okay, I think red is not good. Let's give it a white. What is happening? White. Save. Okay. Red, white. No, this is an error. 1px solid white, solid. So we have a solid white here. There are buttons. I want this to be a bit big. Maybe 60. Okay, so excuse me. So I'm going to target the, we put it in an anchor tag, right? So I'm going to copy this, put here, and then A. We come back here, you see the button has an A in it. So let's target A because it is that anchor tag that's underlining the text and giving them this blue color because it's a link already. So now I want color first, white, and then I want text decoration, none. Okay, I want font size to be a bit bigger. Let's see. Oh, that's too big. So let's see, 10px. That is now too small. Let's see, 18px. And refresh that. So we have this right here. And now I think it's too big. Don't mind me. Let me save it. Refresh. Okay, so now we have it like this. However, I want to add a few want to add a few stylings to the button. So I'm going to, right now it's not popping. I'm not sure it's popping. So I'm going to say font family, poppins, to ensure that it's using poppins. Maybe font weight, let it be bold a bit. Font weight, bold. And then I save this and refresh. So bold. Okay. I don't think we need a bold. Let's take that out. Save. So we have our poppins. Okay, so this, I think this is okay. This is pretty. Okay, so that's, now I want to add some transition to it. So I'm going to say, however, I'm not adding it to the anchor tag, I'm going to add it to the button here. So I'm going to say transition, transition. Okay, I'm going to say 1.0, 0.1 second is out. Okay, so then I'm going to put a hover. So copy this, come here, paste this, hover, hover. So when my mouse hovers over it, it will display something. So I want, right now the color is white. The color is white. So when I hover, I want this color to change. I want this color to change. So I'll say color. Let it change to, first of all, let's change the background. When we hover, the background should change to violet. I think that's violet. Violet, yes, I think so. Violet, dark violet. And then the color, let me see so that I see the color that comes. So they both have, okay, correct. That's correct. Now it's too fast, so I'm going to make this 2 seconds. Let's see. Okay, so it's a bit slow, but it's too slow. So let's say it's 1.2 seconds. 1.2 seconds. Okay. And so with this, we're done with this part. So let's add another section. So we're done with this. We're going to add another section now. And so just hit enter and then create another div. Okay, what do we call this div? We're going to call it the container div. Let's give it a class of container. Now in this class, I want to display the brands of the cars, right? So I'll create another div and name this, give it a class of heading. In this div, I would display my h1 tag, and I'm going to say our brands. Good. So, and then we're going to use the heading. Then I'm going to create another div. Okay, this will be the div that will have a class of the brands. Now, I'm going to use div to display all the brands. So, div. So these are my brands. They're actually images, right? They're images. So I'm gonna put an image tag there. Image. And then the source would be the name. So this brand1.jpg, brand2. So I'm going to put it there. Brand1.png. However, this is not correct because I did not reference the mother folder. All right, so I'm going to reference the img/. And this is supposed to be a link because it's supposed to link to maybe a collection of that particular kind of car. So I'll put an A tag again, wrap it up with my A tag. Okay, so I have 3 brands here, so I'm going to duplicate these 3 times, 2, 3, and then change these names. The second is brand 2 dot png. Okay, the third is brand 3 dot jpeg, brand 3 dot jpeg, like that. So if I refresh this, if I save and refresh, so I have my brands here. Okay, and this one is looking too big. So this is which one? I think that's number 2. Is it? Yes, it is. So I can give it a direct styling here. I don't want to complicate the tutorial, so give it a style width, let's say 40px. Save that, refresh, and it has shrunk back. It has shrunk back. So we need to keep adjusting this, tweak it till we get what we want. That's basically what web design is about. Nobody knows everything. You just keep tweaking till you get your desired expectation. So I think it's still a little more. Let's say 150. That did nothing. Let's say 200. Okay, I'm still going to go a bit. I'm going to give it 400. Save. Not here. Okay, still not the same. And then I'll say 600. Okay, I think it's almost, at least it takes, okay, so I think I should just close out this. Okay, so I have my container. We have our brands. Is the heading. And I have this. And then I have this. So let's see. So we're going to this. Where is the style sheet? So I'm targeting the container and this first. So if I just say display, let's see, container dot container display flex, save. Okay, this one is displaying flex, but these aren't. So I'm going to target container brands. So container dot brands. Let's say that. Refresh. Okay, so it is displaying but these guys are too big. Okay, so I need to take these guys down, and so I have to give them a global class. So this div static brand could still work. Let's see style. Oh, not style, class. Let's see PT1. PT1. Just give it to all of them. Cut this out. I'll copy rather. Space. Paste. So we have a global class for them. So if I come here and target dot brands dot pt1, and then paste this dot pt1. So what I did there was, this is the parent class. I'm targeting this class that is in this class. So I want to give it a width of 40 px. Let's see how far they'll go. Oops, and they're gone. Okay, pt1 image. So we didn't reference the image tag. So image, save. So they're too tiny. Why is Honda not part of it? Oh, because I gave it its own styling. So okay, so I'm going to make this width of 600. So we have a width of 600 now, and let me increase it to 100. Okay, so let's see. I'm seeing something strange here. Let's go back to header. Okay, let's go on. So we have our container brand display is flex. I want to align item center. I want to justify content space around padding bottom 200 pixel. So refresh. Okay. So why is this cutting here? What have I done? Let's see. Container brands. Okay, so I thought I saw this side move to the right, and it's because these images were getting too big. So ensure that your images are of the same sizes or the same size, so that you don't have, like the way I adjusted this one, because this was very big. So ensure that they are of the same size before you start using them in your project. Okay, so let's go on. So, and now this, we have styled the brands itself, but this H1 we have not styled yet, and we gave it a class name. Give it where is it now? This one. Give it a class of heading. So we're going to copy this. I'm going to copy this like this and come over here. So it's in container heading, right? So we could target it dot container dot heading. And so we want to text align center. Text align center. So that should take the text to the center. Okay, so it's there. So we want to give it a padding top to push it down a bit. So it's a padding top. Let's see 40px. Save. Refresh that. So okay, so that's it. I think I still want more. Let's see 50px. Okay. All right, so you can have multiple brands here. It's just because we're just working with three. That's why we have just three brands here. Okay, so we have this brand, we have brands. Okay, all right, maybe I should increase these things just a bit. Let's see, 65. Let's see, 75. Okay, now I'm going to give this a little padding bottom, because we gave it padding top, but it's going to be just a little. So I'm going to say padding bottom. Let's say 20px. Okay, I think it's too much. I don't want it to be too. Okay, well, it's okay. So we have, this guy sells just 3 brands of automobile. He sells Benz, Honda, and Toyota. Sells Benz, Honda, and Toyota. Like I said earlier, you can have multiple brands here. You have 10, 20 brands here. All right, so that image is still, let me see, 100 px. Okay, I think because this guy was not seen, so let me increase this one. We gave it an inline styling. Let's say 70 pixel. Let's see how that fares. Okay, I'm not sure if it did anything. Let's see, 180. So we keep tweaking till we get what we want. That's what programming is about. Okay, you keep tweaking and tweaking until you get anything. So we have, these are brands. So this guy sells Benz, so it's a link. So you can create a page that has Benz products and their prices, and create a page that has Honda cars, and so for the rest. Okay, so we're going to add the next section of our website. Okay, so we're done with this section. We're done with this section. However, I want this section to look like this header section. I'm going to copy this, come here, and then paste here. So this is brands. This is header. Let's see, header 2 or mid section. Mid section. Okay, so mid section elements. There's a mid element. Okay, so I would have some text there, but okay, these are 2 buttons. So I would need just one button here. We're gonna have just one button here, and save this. So if we come to our, refresh this, so we get this and this, right? So I have a picture that I want to put in that section, and that's header 2 of this. Okay, no, this, I want this one. So this is header 2.jpg, header 2.jpg. So I'm going to target, where's our HTML? So this is the mid section. Target this mid section. Come to my styles. So come here, dot mid section, curly braces. So I want to have a mean height of 400 pixel. I want it to look exactly like this, mean height 400 pixel. So background image URL. So I'll target the folder / and it is header 2, right? Good. So header 2.jpg. To write my header 2.jpg. Okay, background size, I want it to be cover. Background size cover. Background repeat none. No repeat. No repeat. Okay, so let's save that and refresh this page. Okay, so we have our we have this second section here. Okay. And then we have our, so get it here. Now I want to add the same stylings I put to the buttons. So where are they? So I'm going to give it, okay, it already has the class here, class BT1. Okay, so copy from here down. So I'll go dot mid section dot BT1. So it has inherited it. However, I want to float it. Float right. Let's see. Float. Float right. So mid section, mid elements. Copy this. Oh, I could just copy it because no other ID has mid element. So let's come here. Dot mid elements. So I want to float. Is that part? Float this to the right part. Let's see. Float right. Okay, it worked. So however, this image is bigger than I expected. It should be of the same size. So I'm going to give it a height. I'm going to give it a height. Okay, so mean. All right. So what did I put here? Mean height is 400. Let me reduce it to 200. 200 px, and check what we get. So that's 200 px. That's 200 px, but I think it's too small. Okay, it's too small. Let me add, let's say 250 px. Okay, I think this. Okay, so I want this button to, so I'll give this a margin right. So float right, I'll give it margin right. Margin right of 20 pixels. Okay, so it moved a bit. So I'm going to increase it, let's say 50 pixels. I wanted to go further than that. Let's see, 80 pixels. 80 pixels, okay? So let's see, I want to increase this text over here. So, and we can do that by targeting the H1 in mid element. So I'm going to say mid element H1. So copy this. element, paste, then space H1. So I want font size to be 50 px. Okay, so refresh. Okay, I think that's the size. Font size, let's say 150 px. Okay, what's happening? Okay, I made a mistake here. Save. There were two dots there, so it was not seeing it. So refresh this, and now it is a bully. So this button is with this guy. Okay, first of all, I'm going to make the color. I'm going to change the color to white. So just say color, give me white, so we can see the scheme of things. So we have Billy's auto. Okay, so all right. So let me target mid elements button. Float right. Okay, so I still maintain my margin there. So this I want to say, where is this mid element? Okay, so here I want to say up to 30% off. Okay, so it's getting too big, so I'm going to reduce it. So if I come here to say H1, I say, let's see, 100. Let's see, 100 looks. Okay, good. Okay, up to 30% off, and then the text is not, so I'm going to give it font family of Poppins. So let's stick to Poppins. Okay, so I have my Poppins here, up to 30% off. I think I like that, Okay, so this, let's deal with that. So we're going to copy the styling again from the header image. Okay, so we have, this is the button anchor tags. So For the buttons, we are going to say, where are we now? Okay. Okay, here. Midsection, BT1. Anchor, because it does have anchor tags in them. So refresh, get a deal. So let us add the hover. So no need to type more code when we already have it here. So our hover is this. So we're going to get from here and come to our button here. So this is where we are. So midsection, midsection, mid elements. Is it mid elements or mid sections? Mid sections, hover. So we save that and refresh. So when we hover now, we get our effect.